10 years ago, I was brought in to resuscitate a failing company on life support. It specialized in precision-based custom parts, a niche market, but one with massive potential if handled right. When I arrived, only 3 employees remained. 50 had already been let go. Morale was non-existent. The warehouse was dead silent, like a graveyard of broken systems and outdated machines. But I didn't run. I got to work. Over 2 brutal years, I rebuilt everything from the ground up. I slashed unnecessary steps, overhauled operations, and reinvested in technology. Slowly but surely, we grew. From scraps to $10 million in revenue. From a forgotten name to a competitive force. Then came Bob. Bob wasn't remarkable. He had a few skills, technical, sure. But he lacked innovation, initiative, and that spark of ownership that truly elevates someone from a worker to a builder. Still, he played his role. Low bar, low output, but he didn't rock the boat. Eventually, though, it became clear, if we wanted to meet our targets, $100K in profit per employee, Bob had to go. It was a painful truth, but a necessary one. So I did what most bosses wouldn't. I gave him 2 months' notice. I sat him down, told him plainly, "Bob, you're good at X, not so much at Y. I'll gladly vouch for the things you do well, but I won't lie. Keep delivering, and you'll have flexibility to attend interviews." To his credit, Bob didn't slack off. He left quietly and professionally. He found a job at one of our partner companies. Oddly enough, he didn't use me as a reference. That should have been my first red flag. Years later, I flew out to visit that very same partner company. Business trip. Normal day. Until I walked into the office and Bob was standing right there. Next to my main contact, Charlie. He smiled, all casual. "Hey, great to see you again." I shook his hand, polite but wary. Then Charlie said something that made my stomach turn. "You know, we've always said how lucky you were to have had Bob back then. The way he transformed that company. Pulled it from the brink? Man, impressive stuff." "Wait, what?" I stared at Charlie, trying to process what I'd just heard. All the things he was praising Bob for? The restructuring? The process overhaul? The revenue boom? That was me. Every single part of it. Charlie finished his glowing speech with a half-hearted, "I mean, of course, Aguiant the Hill helped too." I wanted to scream, to call Bob out, to show them the reports, the blueprints, the sleepless nights. But I didn't. All I said was, "Well, I'm glad Bob found a good fit." And I walked out. For months after, that moment haunted me. The injustice, the disrespect, the feeling of invisibility, like my years of sweat and sacrifice were erased by one man's slick lie. It wasn't even about credit anymore. It was about truth. About watching someone manipulate the facts and walk away with applause. Bob and I crossed paths a few more times over the years. His greetings were always performative, tight smile, fake warmth. And I just nodded. I had moved on, left the company in strong hands. Life threw COVID and chaos at the industry, but we had a good team. I remained close friends with the new GM I'd hired. Smart, ethical, someone I trusted completely. Then came the call. Bob had lost his job. Not surprising, honestly. He was never built for leadership. And guess where he applied? Back at my former company, for a prestigious role. The general manager called me up. He wanted my opinion. "Hey, this Bob guy, he's got an impressive resume. Says he did all this transformation work during your era. You two overlapped, right?" I paused. This was it. My hand clenched the phone just a bit tighter. I could almost see Bob's smug face, rehearsing his lies in an interview room. But now, the truth had a voice. I took a breath, and I told the truth. All of it. I told the GM what Bob actually contributed. What he didn't. What he falsely claimed credit for. No drama. No bitterness. Just facts delivered calmly. There was a long silence on the other end. Then the GM simply said, "Got it. That changes everything." Bob didn't get the job. He probably never even knew why. But I did. And that was enough. It wasn't flashy. No public humiliation. No viral confrontation. But it was clean. It was fair. It was justice. Because in the end, Bob built his castle on lies. And when the foundation was finally tested, when someone checked the blueprints, it crumbled. All I did was tell the truth. And the truth was enough to bring it all down. Karma isn't always loud. Sometimes it moves slow. Sometimes it's silent. But when it lands, especially after years of patience, it's sweeter than revenge. It's relief. If this story gave you chills or reminded you of someone who's taken credit for your hard work, drop a comment below. What would you have done in my place? Smash that like button, subscribe for more real stories of poetic justice, and remember, sometimes the best revenge is just telling the truth.